The 13th Bell, Chapter 1. The Return to Devgar. Anita Rao hadn't returned to her ancestral village of Devgar in nearly 20 years. The memories were foggy at best, laced with whispers, shadows, and the faint tolling of a bell that never belonged to a temple. Her mother had never spoken of the place after they fled in the dead of night, when Anita was just 6. But after her mother's recent passing, Anita received a letter from the village council, summoning her to claim the old mansion. The mansion stood at the edge of the village, flanked by a dark forest known as Kala Ban. Villagers avoided it after sundown, not just for the forest, but for what was buried deep inside it, the ruins of the old bell tower. A bell tower that once rang 13 times every night, and then stopped. Chapter 2. The mansion, the Rao mansion, was exactly as she remembered, grand, crumbling, and heavy with silence. Ivy had strangled the walls, and moss crept through the cracks in the stone floor. She wandered through its vast halls, her footsteps echoing louder than necessary. In the drawing room, a faded oil painting hung, a man with stern eyes and a woman whose face had been scratched out. Anita stared at it uneasily. The air felt thick. That night, she stayed in the master bedroom. At exactly midnight, a sound pierced the silence. A bell. 1, 2, 3. Her heart froze. She counted. 12, 13, and then it stopped. Anita ran to the window and looked toward the forest. Nothing but shadows. Chapter 3. The Villagers. The next morning, Anita visited the village square. Conversations halted when she passed. One old woman crossed herself. Another pulled her child away. Only the village priest, Father D'Souza, dared speak to her. "You heard it, didn't you?" he asked grimly. "The 13th bell?" She nodded. "It tolls only when the tower awakens, when the pact is broken." What pact? But he refused to answer. That evening, a young boy named Kabir slipped her a note. It read, "Meet me at the old well. I'll tell you everything." Chapter 4. The Legend of the Bell Tower. The old well lay behind the dilapidated schoolhouse. Kabir stood there, shivering, not from cold, but fear. "The bell tower wasn't part of any temple," he whispered. "It was built to trap something." Trap what? A spirit. A shadow witch named Malvika. She was executed over 100 years ago for killing children. Before she died, she cursed the land. The tower was built to contain her. And the bell? The bell was enchanted. It tolled 13 times every night to keep her locked away. But 50 years ago, the tolling stopped. Anita frowned. Why? No one knows, but ever since, people have vanished. My sister was the last one, just 2 months ago. Kabir looked over her shoulder and paled. "Go back to the mansion, she's watching us." Anita turned, but saw nothing. Not yet. Chapter 5. The Marking. Back at the mansion, she noticed something strange in her mirror, a dark handprint on her back. She tried scrubbing it off. It wouldn't fade. Then came the scratching. At first, it was on the bedroom door, then on the windows, then from under the bed. The next night, she set up her phone to record. When she reviewed the footage, her stomach turned. At exactly 12:13 a.m., the bell tolled. And in the mirror's reflection, for just a second, a woman stood behind her. Long black hair, hollow white eyes, lips that whispered soundless words. Anita froze the frame. The woman wore her mother's pendant. Chapter 6. The 13th room. She tore through the mansion, searching for answers. In a forgotten ledger, she discovered a blueprint. The house had 12 rooms, but there was a scribbled note. "Never open the 13th door." Curious, she searched until she found it, behind the library's sliding shelf. It was a narrow stairwell leading down. The air grew colder with each step. At the bottom, a door. Carved into it was the symbol of a bell with a vertical slash through it. When she opened it, she found a room full of children's shoes, dozens, maybe hundreds, and in the center, a bell clapper, but no bell. Chapter 7. Echoes in the dark. That night, the dreams began. She was a child again, running through the forest, her mother screaming behind her. The bell tolled 13 times, and black vines snaked from the trees, pulling her into the dirt. When she woke, her hands were covered in soil. Her phone buzzed. A new message. Stop looking. You're next. The sender, unknown. She rushed to the forest, to the ruins of the bell tower. But now the tower wasn't ruined. It stood tall, whole, as if rebuilt by unseen hands. The bell above gleamed, and beneath it, a figure in white staring up at it. Her mother. Chapter 8. The Pact. Inside the tower, her mother turned. "Anita," she whispered, her voice distant, hollow. "I broke the pact to save you." "What pact?" 13 children. Every 13 years. That was the deal. The bell kept the curse at bay. But when they came for you, I stopped it. I took the clapper and hid it. Anita gasped. "You made a deal with Malvika?" "She would have taken you. I gave her others instead." Tears streamed down her mother's face. "But now, the bell has found a new voice. It wants you back." And then her mother vanished in ash. Chapter 9. The Final Toll. Anita ran. Back to the mansion. Back to the 13th room. The clapper was glowing now, pulsating with soundless chimes. Kabir was waiting. "You have to return it," he said, "to seal her again." They ran to the tower, the forest alive with whispers, hands clawed from the earth, eyes blinked in the trees. Inside, the bell swung, though no wind blew. Malvika stood below it, smiling with inhuman glee. "You took what was mine," she hissed. "Now I'll take it all." Anita raised the clapper and flung it upward. The bell screamed. Malvika howled, melting into shadow. And the bell tolled. Chapter 10. Aftermath. The next morning, the forest was still. The tower was once again in ruins. The mansion began to crumble. The villagers whispered that the curse was lifted, but Anita knew better. That night, as she boarded the train, she heard it again. 12. 13. The bell wasn't sealed. It had simply moved on.